The first driver to officially test positive for COVID-19 is none other than seven-time champ Jimmie Johnson. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric and welcome to Out of the Groove, a very brief and, as you can see, unconventional episode of Out of the Groove. As you can see, I'm not in my usual studio. I was not planning on doing a video today, but with the news that just broke earlier this afternoon, I felt like I had to sit down and talk about it with you guys. Just a short while ago, NASCAR revealed that Jimmie Johnson, seven-time Cup Series champion, tested positive for COVID-19. He will not be in the car Sunday afternoon at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Instead, Justin Allgaier from Junior Motorsports' Xfinity Series team will be driving the number 48. This snaps a streak of 663 straight Cup Series races that Jimmie Johnson has appeared in, which is currently the longest streak among active drivers. Obviously, after Sunday, that honor will now go to Kevin Harvick, who's just behind. Now, Jimmie Johnson is the first NASCAR driver across any of their series, from ARCA to Xfinity trucks into the Cup Series. Jimmie Johnson is now the first driver to test positive. Now, that being said, according to Bob Pockrass from Fox Sports, Jimmie Johnson has not experienced any sort of COVID-19 related symptoms. His wife was reportedly feeling a bit under the weather, got tested, found out she had COVID-19, and that's what led Jimmie Johnson to testing himself out of precaution. No surprise there. He also had it. But again, to reiterate, at this point, Jimmie Johnson has no symptoms. So hopefully that means he has a relatively mild case, and hopefully that means he's able to come back from this thing without too much issue. But needless to say, Jimmie Johnson is going to have to miss this weekend's historic race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He will not race in the Brickyard 400 in his final full-time season. Hendrick Motorsports also revealed that a crew member who works closely with Jimmie Johnson, I believe he's remained unnamed to this point, will also be quarantining for the next, I guess, 2 weeks because of his close proximity to Jimmie Johnson in recent days and recent weeks, but it's not known whether or not he has contracted COVID-19. So right now, Jimmie Johnson and his wife are the only ones who it sounds like it's been confirmed. Now, this is big news, but I do see a lot of people, in my opinion at least, overreacting to this a bit. Some people saying, oh, that's over. They're shutting NASCAR down, season's over. That is not going to happen. NASCAR, they were prepared for this situation. They had a plan, they have a plan in place for this exact instance. Of course, for the last month and a half since NASCAR's been back racing, they've done a good job of keeping the drivers separate. One-day shows, there's been no practice, no qualifying. Most drivers show up day of, race, and then leave before sundown. Very little contact between drivers. Masks, of course, everywhere you look. Every crew member, every crew chief, every spotter, every official, everyone at the track, including the drivers, wearing masks almost constantly. But NASCAR has a plan in place for this type of thing. Every week, drivers, crew members, everyone is supposed to submit a list to NASCAR, basically telling them every person that they've been in contact with since the most recent race. And this list is likely one of the ways they were able to trace Jimmie Johnson to that crew member he's been in close contact with, because I'm sure that was documented somewhere, and they knew to go to that guy and tell him to quarantine so as to hopefully not possibly infect other people. What this whole Jimmie Johnson deal really means is that now this whole plan NASCAR put into place is now actually going to be put into motion and is going to be put to the test. This is obviously a terrible situation for Jimmie Johnson, and I am wishing him the best. I'm wishing him a speedy and healthy and quick recovery, but to overreact to this and to say that this means the NASCAR season is over, or that NASCAR is going to start canceling races, or that things are going to go into total and complete utter shutdown, lockdown on the NASCAR side of things, that is clearly overreacting. Look at other sports. Every major sport has seen a significant number of positive COVID-19 tests with their athletes. NBA players are testing positive every week. Major League Baseball, several players from several different teams have had to leave training camp, or spring training, I guess, because they've tested positive. NFL players during their training camps have tested positive. It's happening everywhere you look. It's not restricted to NASCAR. It's not even restricted to professional sports. It's everywhere in the country. Cases are rising pretty much everywhere. NASCAR and pretty much all these other major sports have done almost everything they can to mitigate the risks of getting COVID-19, but no system, and I've said this from the beginning, from the moment NASCAR talked about allowing fans back in the stands, I said this from the beginning, there is no system that is 100% foolproof, and that 100% guards against anyone getting infected with this disease. That's just not possible. So despite NASCAR's best efforts, and we've seen it on TV every single week, every driver in the field's wearing masks. Hell, the microphone, the interviews are being conducted from 6 feet away. I mean, I'm telling you, pretty much every precaution has been put into place at these NASCAR races. There's a good chance Jimmie Johnson and didn't get this from a NASCAR race. In fact, it sounds like he likely got it from his wife, who has not been allowed at any NASCAR races. No drivers have been allowed to have any of their family members at any races to this point. So it sounds like Jimmie Johnson likely didn't even get this from a NASCAR race. That's what I'm saying. No system is ever going to be 100% foolproof. This absolutely sucks for Jimmie Johnson. This sucks for his family. This sucks for Hendrick Motorsports and that race team, because Jimmie Johnson's only about, I believe, 63 points ahead of the last spot in the playoffs at the moment. So he is going to take a hit. He is going to lose a significant amount of points by not racing this weekend. So he'll still be in the top 16. He's not going to fall out of the top 16 after one race. But if this goes on for 2 or 3 more races, Jimmie Johnson could be in serious trouble when it comes to the points. He'll definitely get a playoff waiver from NASCAR. They're not going to, just because he missed one race due to health concerns, he's not going to be barred from making the playoffs. He's definitely going to get a playoff waiver, but he still has to either point his way in or get a win to make the playoffs, and that could be in serious doubt if he misses more than one race. It sucks he has to miss the Brickyard 400, a crown jewel, a big deal. He's supposed to test an IndyCar next week. I'm not sure now if that's in jeopardy, if that's not going to happen at this point, but he has to be cleared by doctors. He has to obviously test positive for antibodies. He has to have a negative COVID-19 test before they allow him back at the racetrack. Hopefully that happens sooner rather than later, but all that's known for sure right now is that he is going to miss this weekend's race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which absolutely sucks. But it is what it is, and I don't want people acting like this is going to put all of NASCAR in jeopardy. This is going to end the season. That's an overreaction. It's terrible for Jimmie Johnson, but NASCAR had a plan, has a plan in place to handle such things, and now it's just going to be put to the test. I'm not trying to downplay the significance or the seriousness of this disease, without a doubt, but it's good to hear at least that Jimmie Johnson does not have symptoms. Hopefully that continues. Many people who get the disease are asymptomatic. Many people don't ever have symptoms and don't get super sick or anything like that, so hopefully that's the category Jimmie Johnson falls into in this case, but I'll be thinking about him. I'll be wishing him the best without a doubt. It's going to be weird seeing the 48 car at Indy this weekend with the Ally colors and it not be Jimmie Johnson behind the wheel. It'll be interesting to see what Justin Allgaier does. He's obviously had some he's run some cup races in his past. He's known for his Xfinity Series success. That will be an interesting performance to see, but that's all I really have to talk about this whole video, really just talking about Jimmie Johnson. Of course, got a lot of racing this weekend, IndyCar and the NASCAR Xfinity Series race on the road course tomorrow. I watched some of practice. A lot of mistakes being made during practice, but it looks like it's going to be a fun race. Like I predicted, Austin Cindric looks really fast. I think AJ Allmendinger, I forgot he was racing this weekend. Watch out for AJ Allmendinger. It's going to come down to him versus Cindric, I believe, for the win in that race. But I'll be watching that tomorrow. I'll be watching the IndyCar Series, and I will be watching the Brickyard 400. I'll have a video up after Sunday afternoon's race at Indianapolis. But again, hoping the best for Jimmie Johnson. This is a tough situation. This is something we all feared would happen, but hopefully NASCAR's plan was ready to accommodate this. And it sounds like they're already taking initiative, sending crew guys home, telling people to quarantine, telling people to isolate who might have been in contact with Jimmie Johnson. Hopefully all their protocols are put into motion properly and this becomes just an outlying incident and doesn't become a widespread issue in NASCAR. Hoping for the best, but basically as with the entire 2020 season, prepared for the worst. But that's all I've got for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new, of course. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Like I said, I'll have a video up Sunday night. But thank you guys for watching. Serious stuff without a doubt. But everyone will get through this okay. I think NASCAR will get through this and will remain strong as a result. But going to be a fun weekend. Does not take away from the historic weekend of racing that's right around the corner. Hope you all are able to enjoy it. And I will see you all after Sunday's Brickyard 400. Take care, everyone. Stay safe.